Good evening, everybody. This is Meenal here. I'm a mindset and wellness coach. I do conduct one-to-one coaching and group coaching sessions. And today's topic is very interesting. Today being a mental health day, let's create awareness and let's work on a mental health and not take it as a taboo. Often I have come across people who do consult me for life coaching sessions and all, but they insist that nobody should know that they're doing these sessions with me. So it's still a taboo people think. But anyways, that's completely their decision and their choice. All said and done, I would only request everybody, if you are going through some kind of mental, I wouldn't say illness, uneasiness or unpleasantness or some emotional upheaval you're going through, please talk to somebody. If you know someone who is going through this, please help them out. That's the message for today's day. And yes, let's start with today's topic, anxiety and stress. So friends, let me tell, we all of us go through this, right? Anxiety, stress, and this is not something that happens suddenly or overnight. It's a gradual thing. And how did anxiety, stress, panic attack, depression, how does it get created? We are the ones who create this, right? What we think, what is our self talk, what is our thinking pattern, what are our beliefs, all these things come together and push us into these emotional turmoil, whether it be depression, whether it be anxiety, whether it be stress. So how do we understand that what are we creating and how do we control, and if it is created, how do we cope up with that? That's what we're going to talk about today. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always message and we can take those questions once at the end of the session. So how do we create, you tell me. I'll give you a very simple example. Okay, let's take a platter. Okay, a food platter. uh, you want to eat Indian food, you'll put Indian food there. Then some new innovations came in. You want to add in Chinese items, you add some Chinese items. Then comes your Italian pizza pasta thing. Then comes Mexican. So we keep on adding in a platter. This and what is how much can we eat and how much can we digest? We can't eat everything. We can't digest everything, knowing very well that this is beyond our capacity to digest. If we keep adding to our plate and try new things, try adding. Okay, I want to do this, I want to try this, I want to eat this. We become greedy, I want to eat everything today, I want to taste everything today. But what is the end result? It results in indigestion, right? Same thing happens with our mind. What are we doing today? We want to do everything. We want to become, multitasking. We want to get into multitasking, whether it be work, whether it be profession, or it could be your personal life, relationship. Wherever you want to do everything beyond your capacity, you push yourself. I'm not saying you do it willingly, knowingly. At times it is, you can say it is compulsion, you had no choice. But I differ on that. You always have a choice, right? That thing we will cover at some other day. But yes, you always have a choice. When you take up any assignment, any task, you had chosen to do it, whatever could be the reason. So say what happens is, you take task, or you take commitments, or you take responsibilities which are beyond your capacity, and which is where you create stress, you create anxiety, you create fear, you create all these negative emotions. So what do we do? And not to forget, the Italian, Chinese, and now, it is not very recent, but the latest is sushi. People want to even eat that sushi, even if they don't like it. No, because my friend is having in her plate or his plate, I need to try that because I want to be in. That's the in thing. So my plate cannot be without that in thing. If you go to a party or anything, I have to have what others are eating, drinking. Even if you can't digest the alcohol what others are drinking, if it doesn't suit you, still you will want to take that class because you want to be in. You want to be, you don't want to be left out. That's how we work. Same thing when I compare it to your mental wellness. What happens is your mental plate, I would say. This is your physical plate, health plate, food plate, and this is your emotional plate. So what happens is, you see your peers, you see your colleagues progressing, or they are growing in their work life, or they're achieving more. See, each one has his or her capacity, right? So if his capacity is more than yours, he's definitely going to excel even by the little efforts that he puts in. But if you have to put in more efforts, which are much, much beyond your capacity to reach that level, you're creating unnecessary stress. So just don't go on comparing, don't go on comparing yourself with others and try to compete with them. It doesn't help. You may succeed on that project, you may succeed on that task that you have undertaken, but what is the end effect? You're creating, your mental health is getting disturbed. You're creating unnecessary stress and anxiety in your life. So this is how you have to understand what is it. We are the ones who are creating these negative emotions or these turmoil in our own life. Uh, Yes, that's a complex thing. This thing. Sorry, guys, I haven't read your messages. Is it okay if I read it at the end and then address it? Yeah, let me do that because otherwise there will be a disconnect, yeah, of what we are talking and where we are going. So now what happens is you understood the concept of if we eat what is not suiting us or what is beyond our digestion power, it creates, you become sick. The same immediately you become sick, or the next day morning you become sick and you start throwing up. That is what happens when you eat over and above your capacity. Same thing with your mind, with your mental health. When you are doing activities, when you are thinking, or when your mind is working more than its capacity, or something that is not good for your mind, like your thoughts, the content that goes in your mind, that is very important. The content that you're feeding in your mind, if it is not of good quality, indigestion is very, very evident, and it is very natural. You will feel that indigestion. Now what is the thoughts that you should be avoiding? It's as I said, don't compete. Gossiping, competing, all these things, I mean, it may give you momentary pleasure, but that's on the in the long run, they're just depleting your health and your inner strength, your willpower. This is what happens, right? And more important is, on a daily basis, how are you responding and reacting to things? Let me give you, super anxious, I actually threw up. Yeah, Shashank, that is what is happening. I mean, these are physio symptoms, right? When you are stressed, you throw up or you develop a migraine. That is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. So you have done, or you have thought, you have been thinking about something that is really put so much stress in your mind that your body is reacting to it. So just stop there. Identify what is it that I'm thinking. What is it that is bothering me so much that I'm throwing up today? We'll come to it, how to just avoid that and all that. We'll talk about it, Shashank. So going back to, what do we do? What are we doing today? If we go in a traffic, I'm sure you must be traveling, whether it be public transport, your personal transport vehicle, whatever it is. In traffic, if you see so much of traffic, you want to overtake. Often I've seen men doing this, and let me share it here. Men don't like a woman overtaking them. I've experienced that very often. I've experienced, if I overtake a guy who's driving by my side, it is, and he must be driving at his pace, not necessarily very fast, but if he sees that I am overtaking, it is, like his blood starts boiling and he has to overtake me, and then he has to show me that, see, I'm ahead of you. I've experienced this many times. I'm sure even you guys would have done. I mean, nothing against boys, but quite a few of them do think and behave in this manner. So, what happens, these reactions that you do? when you try to overtake somebody, when you get agitated because of the traffic, or you get agitated because of people driving around, and you create so much turmoil. Very irritated. You get irritated in these small things. What happens is your inner power, your power gets depleted. Have you ever tried thinking the day when you're traveling in a public transport or a private car, you reach office or wherever you're going very peacefully, and if you are driving with so many people breaking rules and overtaking, what is the mental state? When you are not driving and not creating those feelings, when you reach your destination, you're quite calm and poised and not anxious at all. But if you are driving, if you have to come across these traffic, this traffic and people breaking traffic rules and all, what you end up doing is you create agitation, you react, you at some point you may even abuse them, though they don't hear what you're talking, but you abuse them. And when you reach your destination, you're not in the best of your moods, right? Anxiety is actually a crisis. How do you deal with anxiety then? So, Mitra, it's not a crisis. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Anxiety or stress is not something that has happened overnight. It is happening on a daily basis, on an ongoing basis. When you keep check on what is happening on your thoughts, on your mind, on a daily basis, like I just gave an example of traffic signal, or road traffic is one example. You may have, if you're married, if you have your spouse, or if you have children, or at your workplace, if you get irritated by the way your colleagues are behaving, or the way your boss is managing the team, or the way your seniors are behaving with you, or your clients customers are behaving, if you react in a particular way, that rather than responding, if you react immediately, you get irritated, you become impulsive. If that is how you are living your life, stress and anxiety is eventually going to happen. So all I'm saying is, on a daily basis, please keep a check on how are you living your life. Are you reacting, overreacting on daily incidents that are happening? If you're doing that, please stop it from today, and just tell yourself, no, I am not going to react, because this is just the beginning, and the 10th day I'm going to become very anxious, or I'll throw up, like how Shashank mentioned. He was so stressed, he threw up. So this is just not happening, something that is happening overnight. It is everyday ka thing that is collating, and one day you will see it as a bigger picture, and we give names. And today it is a fashion to tell that, oh, I'm stressed. People feel that if you're not stressed, you're not working hard. That's a myth. You're working hard doesn't mean you have to be stressed. If you're stress free, you're working well. You're working better and properly, I would say. But yes, that's the fact. People say if you are at a position, you have to be stressed. If you don't say you're stressed, which means you're not working responsibility, you're not at a responsible position. So just do away with these things. It's really not required what people think about it. And don't make it a fashion statement. I'm stressed. Don't do that. Yeah. Uh, if cause of anxiety is actually a crisis. Okay. Now, in that situation, Soumitra, what you can do is, if a situation has come up, first thing is you need to tell yourself, I am not perfect. I cannot control everything that is happening around me, right? You need to accept the situation, whatever it could be. It could be on personal front, professional front, wherever. If you have come across a situation which is creating these extreme anxiety attacks, or crises that you say, accept it. Everything is not in my control. I am doing what I can do my best, which I'm sure you would be doing at that point in time, right? When a crisis comes, we all put in our best, and we all want to overcome, and we all want to get the best out of it. We don't enjoy, nobody enjoys crisis. So if you come in a situation where you're really in a soup, just put a full stop. Don't panic. Tell yourself, everything I cannot control, I am putting in my best. And I would suggest, in such situations, yes, with your mindset, yes, everything is in your mind, right? What you think you are. I think all my sessions I keep telling you, you are what you think, you attract what you think, what you are. So you need to tell yourself, nobody else will come and tell you this. Tell yourself this, that I am not perfect, and be happy with imperfect actions. Whatever. Okay, you couldn't do whatever task was there. You couldn't do 100%, you did 50%, 40%. That is okay. This was my best. At this moment, this is what I thought was right and what was best. I have done that. And don't keep feeling guilty, blaming yourself and all that. Don't get into that tangent. So if you come in, I got placed in 80 sector, but it stresses me out. I have to be away from parents. I also not understand the meaning of. Bharat, tell me one thing. When you took up this job, IT sector, why is it? Why do you think it is stressing you out? See, you had a choice. You could have stayed with your parents and not taken up this job, right? I mean, wherever you, I'm just sharing what I think your current situation is. What is stressing you out? Staying away from your parents is stressing you out, or the workload that you have, or your colleagues, or the work environment? What is it that is actually bothering you? When you say stress, what is it? And why do you say that you're not understanding the meaning of life? See, you had chosen, you had decided to go to a different place and start working, right? How old are you, Bharat? What's your age? See, staying away from parents, if 23. So, was it really, really important for you to take up a job which would eventually make you stay away from parents? Were you compelled to do it or you did it by choice? See, you chose over the profession that you took, the job that you took, you chose over it than with staying with your parents, right? You did it by choice. So now what's the problem? It was your decision, it was your choice. If you're missing your parents, make it a point to talk to them. Now the technology has developed so much, video call, Zoom call, everything you can do. Talk to them twice a day, as and when possible, go and meet them. But staying away from them and feeling bad about not being with them, choices can be reversed. Of course they can be, very much. They can be reversed. If you think you have made a imperfect choice, a choice that you're not comfortable, you can always go back. There is no, you shouldn't be feeling ashamed of doing that. Nothing wrong. See, end of the day, it is your life. You have to be happy in what you're doing. Like you're saying that you're not happy, you don't understand the meaning of life. Is this what you're working for? Is this is it more important? Is living a good life important, or earning more money is important to you? You need to think about it. Choices can be reversed, yes. So, Bharat, I mean, I'm not saying you immediately leave your job and go to your parents, but connect with them, have a dialogue every day, as much as possible. Meet them. Still, if you think that, oh, this is not something I'm happy with, you can always reconsider taking up a job where your parents are and start afresh. Nothing wrong in that. See, because each one's capacity to live without family is different. We have come across people who are okay, they step out of the house in their very young age for hostel, for studies. They go, they stay away for parents for years together, and they don't get overwhelmed with emotions. But in your case, if that is the case, you can always rethink and reconsider, and don't stress about it. Don't stress, don't keep feeling rejected, or sad about it, that I did a wrong decision, or it's nothing like that. So going back to what can you do is, you can tell yourself everything is not in my control. I am not perfect, and start thinking positive. If immediately any positive thought doesn't come to you, read some books. You have so many books online also now. So many things are available. You can just go read something very positive, and I would say read it loudly. Sometimes what happens, we just in front of the book, we think we are reading the book we are reading, but nothing is going because your mind is preoccupied in so many things that are running behind the scene, right? So your mind is very preoccupied. So though you feel you're reading, you're not reading. So read it loud. Out of those 10 sentences, at least two sentences will register in your mind. Start doing that. To think positive. That's how it's going to help you change your thought at that point in time. And of course, I would always say that meditation is something that really helps when you're stressed, when you have this anxiety attacks or panic attacks. Try breathing. Slow down, concentrate, focus on your breathing, and think of an anchor thought. Like for example, if you have fear of something, anchor a thought. Like for example, if Bharat, I'll take your case. that you feel stressed, or you feel and you get this anxiety attack, or you feel anxious because your parents are not here. So in those situations, what you can do is, you take deep breaths, slow down, calm down, and think about how you will feel when you are with your parents in the next week, or whenever you plan to travel. When you think about it, you will create some good happy thoughts. And when you create those happy thoughts, the anxiety level, the stress level in your body will automatically come down. And you will see, when you're stressed or when you're anxious, what happens? Your heartbeats go up, your palms start sweating. To many people this happens. So when you create some positive, or anchor a thought that is positive, that what will be the outcome, this is what, if I'm working very hard, this is what I'm going to achieve. So if you think about it, your body will react. You'll calm down, your heartbeats will become normal. Try practicing that. That is really, really helpful. 26, and I pursue architecture, and I don't like my professional issues. Uh, Obul, what you can do, what was the second profession? I mean, you pursued architecture, but what was the second choice? Or what is it that you feel like doing now? What do you think you can align with? The work that you do, you have to align with your work. If you don't, then which is where you feel you're in the wrong place. So you identify what is it that you really want to do. Write it down. I would suggest, whenever you feel that this is some where I am is not the right place, write it down. What exactly you want to do. Try and do some research, R&D around it. If I take this as a profession, as this as a career, how do I go? What is my step one? What is my step two? What preparations I need to do if I have to switch my career? So while you're working right now as an architect, you simultaneously, parallelly, you identify what is actually that you want to do. Because if you just immediately stop what you're doing and try and figure out and fiddle around, you'll suddenly feel that I'm of no use, and you'll get those negative thoughts, that you'll at some point you'll start regretting, why did I leave my architect profession, why did I leave my job or career, or if you have your own setup. So don't do that. While you're pursuing that, simultaneously work on something, identify what is it that you really want to do, and start working on it. And once you are hands on what exactly you want, you can always switch your career. Does that help? Does it answer help you, Obul? Lohit, you're saying your feelings get amplified when you're anxious. Uh, what feelings get amplified? If you can just elaborate a bit on it. It's you do you I mean do you start you feel very sad, or you feel overwhelmed, you start crying? What exactly happens? And let me tell you one thing, if you feel sad, or if you want to cry, I would say, let your feelings get out, vent it out. There is no sin, it is not a sin. Boys also can cry, girls also can cry, and people of any age can cry. Just let those feelings get out. Don't be ashamed. It's okay. We all are humans. What is wrong? The actual missing parents feeling that I have a lot of debts. Okay. So look at what we'll take one thing. Miss your missing parents. So as I said, earlier, you can always talk to them, do video calls, meet them as often as you can. And as the case of debt, okay, what you can do is, I'm sure you would have planned how you are going to offset the debt that you have. You must be saving, or you must have saved already, and you must have planned something how you're going to offset it. So when that thought comes, you need to tell yourself, okay boss, I already am working on it. It's like a bob in your mind. A character, you can give any name, you can give which character you want to give. Anybody, you name somebody. That person is telling you, is trying to instigate you, that is trying to create fear in you. It's your mind only, right? Mr. X and Mr. Y both exist in our mind. So Mr. X is someone who is very positive and will help. Okay, fair enough, you're doing this, you'll get rid of your debts, and parents you're missing, you will talk to them. But this Mr. Y, who is a nasty person, will try to create, right, like you're saying, your feelings are getting amplified, so it'll try to remind you of the debts, how much you have to work, how much is spending. It is showing you the half glass empty. So what you need to do is you need to tell your Mr. X that you need to tell your Mr. Y that half glass is not empty, half glass is full. Let me focus on that full glass. I have done so much, I have paid so much, and only so much is remaining. You need to tell your mind. It is your own thought. You have full control in it. Don't entertain that thought. Don't entertain Mr. Y when it is creating fear, anxiety in your mind. Tell it's enough. Stop it. Take charge of your thought at that point in time. You can do that by breathing, which I generally say. It could be reverse counting from 10 to 1 or 5 to 1, whatever works with you. And whenever you feel this low, Lohit, you can just try doing this. You can just put your hand here and close your eyes, breathe deeply, and just three things you say. I am safe, I am okay, and everything will be fine. And if you're feeling, love deprived, if you're feeling like you're away from parents, you can always add one more thing. I'm loved. So what you can say is, I am okay, I am safe, everything will be fine, and I'm loved. If four things, see, we all have some kind of inhibition, some kind of fear, which is where these feelings are upsurging, right? Whether it be depression, whether it be anxiety, whether it be stress. So when we talk these things, we are sending a message to our mind that you are safe. We all need safety, security in life, right? So we all come across these situations. So when you're overwhelmed, when it is to the extreme, try doing this and you will see wonders happening. Lohit, did I answer your question? Yeah. Try doing it. It works. It has worked for me, so I'm sure it'll work for you. As I said, we all are humans. Even I've had patches in my life where I was very, very anxious, very, very stressed. But then you learn, right? You learn. And whenever you make a mistake, whenever you feel, this is end of the road, or there is no way going back, if you see end of the road, take a U-turn and go back. That's what I will say. You can't see a path ahead, take a U-turn and come back and find another way. That's how we all have to live, right? Any questions, friends? Anything that I shared was not understood, or anything that I didn't address today? So, all just to summarize, stress, anxiety is our own creation. Um, thanks, Daman. Stress, anxiety, fear, anything, depression, or sadness, any feeling that we are experiencing is our own creation. First thing is, on a day-to-day basis, we need to identify what is our action, what is our reaction, or what are our thoughts and beliefs that are resulting in these emotions. Once you identify and address those, the extent of the stress or the negative feelings, emotions that are created will automatically come down. And whenever you come in a situation where you are helpless, try talking to yourself and remind yourself that I am not perfect, everything is not in my control, I'm doing my best, and things will fall in place. I am safe, I'm secure, and I'm loved. If you tell all these, your mind will be really pepped up. You're giving that positive information to your mind, and your body will react accordingly. Yeah. So this is how you can avoid and how you can cope with anxiety, stress that has suddenly come up. There are thoughts as part of my character that are pessimistic. How do we fix it from the core? Should be vigilant about the Yes, Lohit, very much. See, as I said, there is this X, Mr. X and Mr. Y, both in our mind, right? So X is someone who is very optimistic, looks at the positive side, looks at the half glass full. Mr. Y, which is pessimistic in nature, looks only at the half glass, empty half glass. So I am sure you must have heard those phrases, or whichever thought you feed will grow. There are two wolves in our mind. Whichever wolf you feed will grow. So don't feed that Mr. Y. Don't entertain. No? You take a call. You take a decision. No, I cannot be living my life in such a turmoil. I want to lead a happy life. Whatever debts you have, or if you're away from parents, that doesn't mean you cannot be happy, right? Of course, that that feeling will be there, that craving will be there to be with them or to offset your debt. But that doesn't mean you cannot be happy. If you live in the moment, you will be happy. You will find some or the other reason to be happy than to be anxious, sitting and worrying about what to do, and how will I repay and when will I see my parents. Though we have left them with by our own choice and decision, but these thoughts, when they overwhelm, you need to talk to yourself and pacify them. Yeah. So, any more questions, or can I just end the session, friends? And I've shared my links. You can connect with me on Insta, LinkedIn, or other platforms. I've just shared the links. Yeah. So, you guys have a great evening and have a very wonderful week ahead. Yeah. Bye.